Ahora nos quedan dos finales más. Vamos por la cuarta final.
Just... How...
Keep your voice. What's wrong with you? Why can't you get it into your head? Quit asking dull questions and start thinking about how to win over our readers. Do I make myself clear?
The key here is consumer psychology. Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
I don't think you realize what a golden opportunity you have here. How many journalists would give anything they had to trade places with you right now? Huh? Ever think about that?
You just don't get it! Miss Yun has put her heart and soul into...
Enough! Stop yelling in public! Or do you want Miss Yun to hear about all the lies you're spreading about her?
Me? You're the one making everything up!
Well, you sure seemed pretty happy chatting to her, so don't act like you ain't a part of this. And don't forget the contract you signed. Come. We'll continue our little chat over there. You need to listen and learn, young lady.
I...
The nightlife here is so vibrant. Are you ready to stop whining now? Do you have any idea how rare an opportunity like this is for a small-time paper like ours? Just think of the sales if we can get an exclusive. We'd have enough to cover your salary for 2 lifetimes.
But what about us pretending to be from the Steambird? Aren't you worried she'll find out?
You really think she still would have talked to you if I hadn't told that little white lie? Besides, what have you got to be afraid of? As long as we make it sound like an eyewitness account, how will she be able to refute it? Heck, if she actually presses the issue, I'll probably have to thank her for keeping it current for me.
This is horrible. I will not let you treat Miss Yun like this.
I don't know who she thinks she is anyway. Oh, I sang a couple of shows, so now I'm a national superstar. Give me a break. No one wants to read about your sopranos or your falsettos. We give the readers what they want. That's how this business works. Case in point, that blonde guy seemed to be getting along pretty well with Yunjin. There's definitely a story there, even if there isn't.
Ugh, that's enough! I'm reporting you to the Millilith!
Report me? What for? Libel? Identity theft? Good luck with that. I haven't written anything. Where's your proof?
I...
You'd better tread carefully, Missy. First you neglect your own duties, and now you're trying to get in the way of mine? You signed the contract. You know full well the consequences. If you sabotage this interview, I will make sure you lose everything you have. I will ruin you. You understand?
Why? Oh, why did I sign that contract?
¿Por qué firmé ese contrato? Me mantendré al margen hasta que se lo haya contado Yunjin primero.
Well, think very carefully about what you're going to do. This is a rare opportunity. Now, I need to think how to phrase these interview questions.
You... Hey, wait!
Did you find anything out?
Gracias, descubriste algo, verás.
I see. I knew there was something fishy about that editor-in-chief. But this is a bigger plot twist than I expected.
Ya veo, aunque ese editor jefe se veía sospechoso, no esperaría un giro como este en la historia. Deberíamos reportarlo a la Geormada.
Not yet. All he's done so far is ask a few questions. There's nothing in print yet. The Millilith wouldn't be able to do anything even if we got them involved. Besides, if we rush to report him now, it's only going to give him more material to write about.
Además, si nos apresuremos a reportarlo, me temo que solo le daremos más material sobre el cual escribir. No creo que sea la primera vez que lo hacen. Deben hacer más evidencia en su base de operaciones.
You're right. But tabloids like theirs never have permanent offices and printing presses. The moment they hear anything, they'll disappear without a trace, and you've got no chance of catching them. I'm actually more concerned about another detail you told me. Would you be willing to do me another favor? I want to send a letter to that journalist.
Ya, ¿me podrías hacerme otro favor? Quiero enviar una carta a esa periodista. Claro, yo me encargo.
Great. Thank you. The editor should be here soon, so I'll stay here to deal with him. I'll have to rely on you to deliver the letter. If everything goes well, we should be able to get some breathing room for a while.
Dale la carta Ching Yun.
I've had it with you. Do you think contracts are just bits of paper? If we weren't on a tight deadline, you'd better believe I'd fire you right here on the spot. You will stay here and reflect on your actions if you know what's good for you. Sorry, but I'm not babysitting you anymore today.
Oh, what am I going to do? You're the one who was with Miss Yun earlier.
Tú estabas con la maestra Jun. Junji escribió esta carta para ti.
Oh, really? Miss Yun wrote me a letter? Oh, I'll read it right away. Wow. Really? I can't believe this.
Wow, en serio, ya veo. ¿Qué dice la carta?
Miss Yun says that under Liyue law, any penalty charge I have to pay may not substantially exceed the amount of my salary. You can't have a labor contract that would completely bankrupt the employee in the event of a breach. It's not legally binding. So not only can he not get any money off of me, I can take this contract to the Ministry of Civil Affairs and blow the whistle on him. I didn't think about any of this when I was job hunting. I just signed the contract without a second thought. I always thought Miss Yun was all about opera. Who would have thought she was such a legal expert, too?
¿Quién iba a pensar que la maestra Jun no solo era buena con la ópera, también es experta en leyes? Así que esta es la solución que ha encontrado. Es increíble.
If only I hadn't gone out of my way to get Miss Yun's attention in the first place, none of this would have happened. I didn't expect it to end up with Miss Yun helping fix my life problems.
No puedo creer que me haya ayudado a resolver a mis problemas. ¿Tienes más evidencias? ¿Puedes llevarme su base de operaciones?
Well, Mr. Boyi says I'm still on probation, so he won't tell me where their work location is. Plus, I give all my draft articles straight to him, so I don't have anything in the way of evidence.
Además, todos los artículos se le entregó a él, así que no tengo mucha evidencia. Quizá está planeando despedirse cuando termine tu periodo de prueba. Qué tipo tan calculador y astuto.
I wouldn't put it past him. But the letter says that my statement and the contract are enough to get the Millilith looking into it. If Miss Yun says so, I'm sure she must be right. Let's go confront him right now.
Regresa a la casa de Te-Eyu y enfréntate a Boyi.
Okay, I think I've covered this topic pretty thoroughly now. Unless you had any more questions?
Whoa, what can I say, Miss Yun? You have so many wonderful qualities. Let's not quit while the ball's rolling, huh? Otherwise, I'll think of something I didn't ask later, and by then, it'll be too late. So, hey, where's that, friend of yours who was here earlier? You guys seemed, pretty close. Not intentionally avoiding the interview, surely?
No creo que se haya ido a propósito para evitar la entrevista así. Aquí estoy.
You're finally back. This poor gentleman's been waiting for you.
You're with Shiryun? Hey, what's going on here? Hey, Shuyun, don't forget the contract you signed.
Tú y Chiyun, ustedes, ¿qué están pasando acá? Oye, Chiyun, no te olvides del contrato que firmaste. Punto, estamos hablando de eso.
The traveler clued me in. This contract you made me sign? It isn't worth the paper it's written on.
Isn't worth the paper it's written on? Don't be ridiculous. It's all there, clear as day. Don't you think I did my research?
Research? Oh, so you're a news editor. But you also have an interest in law?
Yeah, she's new, and she's making a fool of herself. She doesn't get how this all works. My apologies. Now, back to our interview?
No, it's okay. In fact, I found myself delving into some legal texts recently. It's all so intricate and complicated that it's very difficult to take it all in. The contracts of our opera troupe are a case in point. I'd finally finished reading through the relevant documentation from the Yuehai Pavilion when suddenly the Qixing announced a new interpretation. So I'm just curious. How can you be completely sure that you didn't miss anything when you were researching this?
I'm pretty sure I read everything relevant.
Under current legislation, the penalty terms in my labor contract are unreasonable and exploitative. I could report you to the Millilith for extortion.
Nonsense! That's ridiculous!
My goodness. Sir, it seems that we should probably bring this interview to a close here.
Don't listen to her! I run a legitimate business. Everything we do is above board.
Oh, I have no doubt about that at all, sir. But this reminds me of a case I read about not long ago. Once you get reported and the Millilith starts scrutinizing your business, well, not only do they look into every license you have and every work you've ever published, but everything down to your fire safety policy will come under their magnifying glass as well. So if you don't get back now and start preparing for their arrival... Well, I mean, I don't mind continuing the interview at all. But I'd hate to take up too much of your precious time if there's any aspect of your business you want to double-check from a legal standpoint.
You... I won't forget this!
Hey, where do you think you're going? Miss Yun, why did you stop me?
Maestro Jung, ¿por qué no me detuvo? Vamos a dejar que se vaya así. Va a deshacer la evidencia cuando llegue.
Right, and the contract I have is enough to get him arrested, isn't it?
I'm not a legal expert. I haven't the faintest idea. All that was just an act, aimed at getting him to show us the way.
An act? Show us the way to what? Yunjin, the Millilith are after him. Based on his movements, it looks like Boyi is heading back to his headquarters. I really hope they teach these tabloids a lesson they won't forget. It'd sure make my life a lot easier.
Realmente espero que eso les enseñe a esos tabloides una lección que no olvidarán. Haría mi vida más fácil. Ya entendí qué está pasando.
Yes, I had Yunning report to the Millilith while you were delivering the letter for me. The penalty terms in Shuyun's contract are too severe. Even if they don't violate the law, I'm sure he must be taking advantage of some loopholes. Anyone who works like that is sure to have a guilty conscience. So all I had to do was put on a little show, starring the editor-in-chief of the Steambird. And now, he is sure to lead us to the solid evidence.
Ahora él mismo nos guiará a la evidencia. No puedo creer que nos la haya ocultado también.
Well, acting has to be authentic to be believable.
Their little publication will go out of business in no time. Good riddance, I say. I hope this gets the other tabloids to rein in their antics too. Hey, here's a thought. Maybe we could get him to rat on some of his rival publications. Ah, I only just realized what this means. I'm going to be out of a job, aren't I?
Well, would you still be interested in submitting an article to the Steambird? But the real one this time?
Well, yes, of course. But would they really accept an article from me?
Yunning, when can we arrange the next interview for?
Oh, so now you're asking me. 2 days from now, morning. Work for you?
Okay. Shiryun, let's continue our discussion about tonight's play 2 days from now.
Does this mean I get to do a full feature interview with you? Okay, I think I know what I want to write about. Thank you, Miss Yoon.
Don't mention it. I'm sure it will be a source of inspiration for both of us.
Tendrás pocos amigos. Es mucho fácil ganar 1 millón de moras que encontrar a alguien que conozca tu corazón. Ahora vamos por la última misión.
The fate of the Benoit Brotherhood was...
Can you put a few more adventure?
¿Qué te parece, Yami? Tienes razón, Jin.
I'm glad you agree. Right. Then let's get preparing.
Hey, You've only just managed to bring Yoonjin back. Now you're taking her straight. The next show is just days away. Please, if not for me, then for the sake of the opera troupe, I'm begging you, help me convince her that at the end of the day, she's gotta fall in line.
La próxima actuación será en unos días. Si no la quieres hacer por mí, hazlo por la compañía. Te lo ruego. Ayúdame a mantenerla en la raya. Eso no será fácil.
Well, okay, maybe that's asking the impossible, but at least try and keep her distracted. Please, just keep her occupied until the next show. No more thrill-seeking.
What are you two talking about? If it doesn't involve me, I think I'm going to...
You know what? It does involve you, actually. The Traveler was saying, Come on, help me stall her.
Oh? Well, what do you need from me?
Ya me ocurre algo. Yo quiero ser actor.
You want to become an actor?
You do? Oh, yes, of course he does. He was just telling me that he's interested in exploring his dramatic side and, would like you to give him some coaching. Right, good. Well, let's not beat around the bush. Traveler, your master awaits.
Hold on. I don't know if I'm really ready to take on students yet.
Please, this is the day you've dreamed of, isn't it? You certainly talk about it enough. And look, now he's here, ready and willing.
Okay, I get it. You can stop now. Whew. I am delighted that you wish to study the performing arts from me. But the issue is, before you could become my apprentice, I'd have to get approval from the founders that do an initiation ceremony. There just isn't time for all that right now. So, for now, I'll just teach you a few basics. Informally, one friend to another, there's no need to call me master.
Así que por ahora te enseñaré solo lo básico, de manera informal, como amigos. Hace falta que me llames profesora y maestra.
What? Don't you think that's a bit old-fashioned? Let's work on that later. Until we settle on an appropriate title, just call me by my name. Let's meet tomorrow morning on the bridge by the sea at Feiyun Slope. I'll do my best to prepare a good first lesson for you.
Whew, what a relief.
Una primera introducción. Espera a las 7 de mañana siguiente, a las 6 y 8 horas. Sea el lugar acordado para tus clases.
Good. You're right on time. Punctuality is an essential quality if you want to make it big in the acting world. Without it, you won't be able to keep on top of all the work you need to do each day.
De lo contrario, no podrás estar al tanto de todo el trabajo que necesitas hacer durante el día. Bueno, ¿por dónde empezamos?
Well, first I'd like you to answer me one question. How many pigeons flew from the bridge when you were passing through?
¿Cuántas palomas volaron cuando pasaste por el puente? No vi ninguna, ¿no?
Close. It was 7. Anyway, the point of this question was to test your powers of observation. Eyes are the medium for the transfer of emotion. You must train your eyes to be bright, active, and strong. Watching the birds fly, hover around, and come into land will not only exercise your eyesight, but also cultivate attentiveness. Indeed, my own daily training routine starts right here. I watch the pigeons to train my eyes, and I sing to the tide to train my voice.
Aquí empieza mi rutina de todos los días. Vengo a observar la paloma para entrenar mis ojos y a cantarle las olas del mar para entrenar mi voz. Entonces también tengo que entrenar mi voz.
All in good time. Grasping all the techniques involved in opera singing and posture is not an overnight process. Let's start from the very beginning, with some general theories to help you better understand the concept of performance.
Podemos comenzar por entender mejor el concepto de actuación, con algunas teorías generales.
Of course. I am in written correspondence with performers from many nations in Teyvat, which has rather broadened my perspective on this topic. For example, let's start with something simple. How would you perform yourself? Try to relive the events of that day when you were battling against an ancient god and fighting off the Fatui. What can you see? What did you feel? Now, I want you to look out at the ocean in front of you and recall the raging waves and the atmosphere of peril from that day. Take a deep breath. Now, gradually, embrace the scene, immerse yourself in it, and let all the emotions back in.
Respira profundamente y ahora vuelve a sumergirte poco a poco en esa escena. Recuerda qué sentías en ese momento. La confianza de luchar al lado de mi compañero, la ira mientras luchaba contra los Fatui, el miedo de ser dominado por un dios antiguo.
Good, good. So that's how you felt. Next, I'd like you to focus on the goal you wanted to achieve at that time.
Ahora necesito que te concentres en el objetivo que buscabas alcanzar en ese momento, derrotar al dios de los Fatui, sobrevivir y continuar mi viaje, proteger a Liyue y mis amigos.
Good, yes. Use that. Okay, good. Now, all of this overwhelming emotion is welling up inside of you, and I want you to let it all out. All at once. Go!
Bien, ahora vamos a dejar salir toda la energía. Vamos. ¡Uah!
Stop. Wrong. This is all wrong. There's no emotion, no soul. Granted, the character you are trying to portray is your own self, but your performance didn't do the scene justice at all. I couldn't hear you fighting for your life while gargantuan waves were crashing all around you. What I heard was the sound of someone doing vocal exercises by the beach on a calm day.
No te oí luchando por tu vida mientras olas gigantes rompían a tu alrededor. Lo que oí fue alguien haciendo ejercicios vocales en la playa en un día sereno. Bueno, estamos en la playa y es un día sereno.
Here's the thing. When you're acting, it's not only about getting into character, you also have to recreate the scene in your mind as vividly as you can. Now, I appreciate that you did actually experience this particular scene for yourself, but maybe conjuring up specific details of your surroundings at the time is a little too advanced for novices.
Tal vez recrear los detalles específicos de lo que te rodea en ese momento es demasiado difícil para un principiante. Bueno, es una situación de vida o muerte. Fue una experiencia poco común incluso para mí.
You're right. If we were looking for an environment to help evoke the emotions you felt at the time, I suppose we could try again. A little farther afield, at Guyunstone Forest.
Podríamos probar un poco más lejos en el bosque de piedra Yungun. No hace falta ir tan lejos.
Oh? Too far away? Don't worry, I was just thinking aloud. Besides, even at Guyunstone Forest, we'd still have trouble recreating the state of the sea that day. Let's try something else. Come with me to the suburbs just north of Liyue Harbor.
Intentemos otra cosa, vayamos a las afueras del norte de la ciudad de Liyue. No debe estar muy lejos.
If you've got no objections, let's head off.
Dirígete a las afueras del norte de Liyue.
The battle you fought on the Jade Chamber was a very strange set of circumstances, even for someone like you. It's quite normal that you can't get into character just like that. I know it's hard to recreate every facet of the experience in your mind, but what you could try is to replace the foes you faced in that scenario with ones you are much more familiar with.
Pero puedes intentar reemplazar tus habilidades en la obra por otros enemigos que conozcas más. ¿Reemplazar?
I'll give you an example. Let's say you're performing a scene where your character experiences the grief and pain of a death, but you yourself have never experienced this kind of tragic loss before. Well, you can replace death with another, more familiar scenario that evokes a similar sense of grief and pain for you, such as... you bust a gut trying to find a treasure chest, only to finally reach it and find it filled with cabbages and radishes.
Después de mucho esfuerzo, encontraste el cofre que tanto estabas buscando, solo para descubrir que adentro no había más que repollos y rábanos. Oh, tristeza, puedo sentirla.
Ah, now you're catching on. Action scenes work the same way. Perhaps the experience of facing an ancient god is a challenge to recreate. But if you're replaying the kind of actions you perform every day, you just need to let go, and your subconscious will guide you through. Come, show me how you normally fight. You can start with monsters nearby.
Derrotas a los oponentes cercanos.
They're coming. Just do what you normally do in this situation. Incinerate! Oh, that was wonderful. Such deft and fluid movements. Just like a real adventurer.
Como un verdadero aventurero, soy un aventurero de verdad.
Let's perform the scene again now, while the battle is still fresh in your mind. Look at those red-clad scarecrows. But I want you to see them instead as those Fatui who brandish the sacrificial knives. Now, let us reenact the battle on the Jade Chamber. It's okay if you can't recall the events clearly. You can just replace them with the movements you are most familiar with. And... attack! The three Adepti are manning the Guizhong ballistas. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work.
Destruye a los espantapájaros rojos. ¿Qué tal?
I can't fault your movements in terms of technique. But Fatui are larger than most monsters. I don't think it was a conscious decision, but you were aiming a little too low. And you also didn't strike with enough force. Overall, it was just lacking that sense of being in the heat of the battle. Veteran practitioners of this acting method are able to adjust and embellish their real-life experience enough so that it makes an adequate substitute for the scene they are trying to portray. But adjusting deep-rooted habits to adapt them for the stage, that's no easy task.
Pero no es fácil ajustar nuestros hábitos a la actuación. No será nada fácil.
Still, this was only your first time trying this method. And all things considered, I think you've done quite well. But judging from your movements, I think this next method might suit you a little better.
Pero ahora que veo tus movimientos, creo que el siguiente método es más adecuado para ti. ¿Qué método?
Choreograph every aspect of your onstage performance in advance. Every movement, every facial expression, even your emotions, and rehearse it thoroughly. You can reference existing characters from opera or imitate similar people from your own life. In short, you want to pin down every detail of the character you want to portray in your mind, and then work through them methodically, and find ways to bring them out.
En resumen, se necesita tener una imagen mental de todos los detalles del personaje que se requiere representar y un poco a poco ir sacando a la luz. Es un poco difícil de entender.
Well, in your case, what you need to do is imitate your past self. Think of yourself not as you, but as somebody outside this world controlling your every move.
Imagina que no eres tú, sino alguien fuera de este mundo que controla todos tus movimientos. Cada vez más difícil de entender.
It's complicated to explain, but once you give it a try, I think you'll get the hang of it. Okay, how about we start by setting a simple scenario? The Fatui in red want to attack the Guizhong ballista, and the heavyweight guards in blue want to try and stop you. What you want to do is evade all the blues and go straight for the reds. Yes, I think that sums it up. There's an open area to the north. I'll set up a stage for you. When you've finished rehearsing everything in your mind, come and find me.
El escenario que Jin preparó.
Well, have you finished rehearsing?
¿Cómo te fue? ¿Terminaste de ensayar? ¿Qué tenías que hacer? Estoy listo, eso creo.
No need to rush. Take your time. I shall guide you with my voice.
Ya los rojos, no los azules.
Now that was a little better. You managed to bring out more of that fearless hero quality that time. My hard work coaching you has finally paid off. This method might not sound as sophisticated and exciting as the first two, but it's the most popular choice for teaching beginners. Rigorous rehearsal and vocal training is at the core of this school of thought. It even works on those whose performance lacks emotional depth at first. As long as you practice diligently, with time, you will achieve mastery one way or another. Either your finely honed skills become a good substitute for innate talent, or the process of honing your skills cultivates genuine talent within you. People say that when you truly master the art of singing, even the birds and beasts will be drawn to your song.
Dice que incluso los pájaros y los animales se sientan atraídos por el canto cuando logras dominarlo. Increíble.
I know. I guess I still have a long road ahead of me when it comes to developing as a performer.
Lo sé, supongo que todavía me queda un largo camino para recorrer el mundo de la actuación. Entonces, si este es el método para principiantes, ¿por qué no empezaste?
Well, because even if I had, you wouldn't have put your heart into it. It's been written on your face this whole time. Just try and keep her occupied until the next show.
Tienes un cartel en la gente que dice debo buscar una manera de entretenerla hasta la siguiente función. Me atrapaste.
Don't forget that acting is my bread and butter. Did you really think I wouldn't be able to see through it? Still, this is a rare opportunity, and I hope you have at least learned something from it about the beauty of the performing arts. The operatic tradition carries countless historical memories within it. As long as the art is kept alive, the voices and faces of bygone heroes can be recreated on the stage for generation after generation. I hope that your voice and your face will make their mark on Liyue opera too.
Yami, espero que tu voz y tu rostro también pueden dejar su marca en la ópera. Mi voz y mi rostro.
Yes, as well as coaching you today, I have also been closely observing every move you make. Do you remember the basics of the final method?
Recuerdo los fundamentos del método anterior, tomar como referencia a otros personajes de la ópera.
Don't you think there's a striking similarity between you, who stood up for Liyue and fought off a god of old, and the divine damsel in the play? With you as a reference in mind, I'm sure I can finally make a breakthrough in creating my own adaptation of this character.
Si puedo usarte a ti como referencia, de seguro lograré un gran avance en la adaptación de este personaje. Estudiarme te ayudaría a lograrlo.
Because as far as I'm concerned, the immersion method, drawing on life experiences, and imitating others are all valuable acting methods. Even if my every movement is rehearsed to perfection, I can't move the audience without conveying emotion. And even if I fully master the character's emotions, a little choreography will help make the performance more polished and appealing. Whatever the method is, as long as it offers something that can improve my performance, I will always give it a try. Thank you for trying them out as well. It means a lot to me. And congratulations on making it to the end of your first acting class.
Y felicidades por haber culminado tu primera clase de actuación. ¿Cuándo será mi ceremonia de graduación?
Graduation ceremony? I'm afraid that's still a long way in the future. For now, I hope to incorporate part of you into my performance of the Divine Damsel. But one day, I hope to write an opera all about you. When that day comes, I hope you will be able to join me on stage and give me some constructive criticism. It'll take a lot of hard work to reach the point where you're ready to go on stage. But I'll be here to keep you on track every step of the way.
Tendrás que hacer un gran esfuerzo para poder subir al escenario, pero estaré a tu lado para guiarte en cada paso. Vaya, qué maestra tan estricta.
Here we go again. So old-fashioned. Then again, I suppose I will have to give you a lot of instruction along the way. And if I won't let you call me master, teacher, or coach, I've got to think of something you can call me. I've got it. You can call me mentor. What do you think?
Primer vistazo al elenco. Ensayar hoy un poco más para que algún día pueda actuar en el mismo escenario. Por fin completamos los 5 finales de Jin. Y acá la dejamos. Nos vemos. Bye bye.